people accuse me, in fact, roll me angrily that I'm being very brutal to my tree. Hi, I'm miltonchang of Bonsaiheirloom. Please click like if you think my video is informative and give me some encouragement. I like that. And also subscribe to our channel so that we can notify you of new videos. And also send us your email address so that we can notify you of any trees availability, because the quantity the first year will be very limited. Today, the questions, both the first one and the second one, really centers around for beginners on how to start a bonsai, when to start a bonsai from a tree, from a garden, or from a nursery tree. So let me go over that a little bit more elaborate, although many of my videos have covered that subject. So please go review my older videos. Basically, you want to turn a garden tree or a nursery tree into a bonsai, or anywhere you pick up a tree. And some of them could be a little tweak, you know, like a little chopstick size. And those, I think you should grow them either in the ground or in a big nursery pot to gain some sizes. So let's say if you want, your vision is to have a bonsai about this size, this big, then I think you should start working on it when the branch, the trunk gets to be this thick. Otherwise, you have a very toothpick size seedling, you keep working on it, it will never get thick. What you do is that when you put a sapling in the ground, it will grow very tall very quickly if you fertilize it and water it well. Then what you want to do is to chop it to size, and you envision what the tree want to look like at the end of bonsai. Let's say if your bonsai want to be about this tall, then the trunk can be this thick, you start cutting it. And you want to cut it maybe 25% shorter than the tree you want it to be. The same thing with this. If you want a taller, bigger bonsai, then you better start the tree when the trunk is at least this big and then let it grow again and cut it and so forth. And so what happens is that when you cut it, the lower branches will come out and you cut it, and then the side branch will come out the end of the apex. And that will be much thinner than this part. Therefore, you create a taper and also a turn. So that's how you do your twist and turn, again, trying to fulfill your vision of what you want the tree to become. And that's it. And then what happens is that let's say if a branch here is really thin that you want it to be thickened, then what you can do is you can take the branch, you bend it up, because when the branch is pointing up, it tends to grow much faster. And the same thing, you wanted the apex to get thicker. You let it grow so they will thicken quicker to rhyme with the bottom, so it's not like a little thin stick and the thick trunk below. And then you want to increase ramification. You just cut it back and then cut it back and cut it back, but envision what the ultimate shape would be and let it grow into that. I think that's it. And you can't fake age in the sense of the longer you have trimmed the bonsai, the older it will look because it has more ramification and more turns. And I think when you talk about the age of a bonsai tree, there are really two ages. One is the age of the tree itself. You can start with a 50-year-old bonsai tree, nursery tree, or take up a 50-year-old tree and you work on it for 5 years. It would be kind of not fair to say it's a 55-year-old tree. But on the other hand, if it's, you can say that, but on the other hand, it's really a five-year-old bonsai tree. Okay, let me move on to the next subject. I think that's enough of a summary. And if you supplement that with my old video, I think you get a pretty good grasp of what this process is all about. And in the beginning, people accused me, in fact, rolled me angrily that I'm being very brutal to my tree, ruthless, and cutting my tree back so drastically. And my point is that if you're not drastic, how the tree will become drastic? You know, you just got to be drastic in the beginning. That's the cut, and then you let it grow the tree will naturally follow nature, so the tree will look natural, and then you cut it again and then let it grow. So it's the cut and grow method that I use. And if you have to wire it, I think it's okay to wire it, but I think it's not right to contrive by taking a branch, by pulling over there because you need some green. I think that's very contrived. Okay, I really enjoy all your videos. So far, my comments has been very positive. Thank you all very much. When is the time to perform this type of work? Well, generally, the drastic cutting, the repotting, the cutting back the roots and all that, the best time to do it is either spring. I think probably early spring is the best time. And the second best time is in the fall, especially in the mild weather. In the colder area, you really want to wait for the spring so that you don't freeze the roots over. On the other hand, I do that for the sake of the video. I do things all year round, but I do take care by not cutting off too many roots. And also, if I do cut off a lot of roots, I cut back the branches very severely to compensate, because the whole system has to be a balanced system. Amount of roots absorbs the amount of water. In a sense, more roots absorbs more water, can support more leaves. But if you cut off a lot of roots and there's a lot of leaves on top, the water absorbed by the roots cannot support the leaves, and leaves died off. And if all the leaves died off, the tree dies. Just keep that in mind, that's all. You can do that all the time, but just do that not so drastically if you have to during the summer months. The next one, this person wrote, I think he does landscaping trees, and he used the so-called agricultural cuts. I think if I understand what you mean is that you do want to save the branches or the buds where you want the branch to go, and you cut it above that. And the same thing with the buds, because that would define the direction of the new growth. So yes, in bonsai, the cut and growth method, you definitely want to follow, quote unquote, the agricultural cuts. Is it okay to shape a tree into the mushroom shape? Well, sure, if that's what you like. You have a trunk, straight trunk, or a very interesting trunk, and you have a mushroom shape. And if you really look at the mature trees out in the openness, in the open, you will find the top is kind of rounded, because the branches are reaching out to seek the sun, and the ones that grow up in the middle tend to go a little taller, and the side being sidewards and longer becomes a kind of a mushroom shape. So yes, by all means. On the other hand, when that is overdone, like many of the bonsais in bonsai books, really beautiful, beautiful trunks, and then it disappears into the mushroom hat. I think that kind of in a shame to kind of block the beautiful trunk in between. So I like to compromise by having significant amount of ramification, but not overdoing it, that you have a hat and then the rest of it, not much to see. I cut off some new buds, and then 3 days later, all the leaves started to get brown, and now the tree seemed dead. I suspect the tree turned brown and looked dead. It's not because you cut off the new buds. I think that would encourage buds to grow from the rest of the tree. So it may be just a coincidence that something happened, or maybe you bought a tree that's already in set shape, and but I'll keep watering it. Maybe something will happen. I cut off a ficus tree, and it seemed to grow very well, but several of the small branches does not seem to grow very well. Some of the branches are maybe a little dormant. It hasn't, so that it will wait until it pick up enough sap to shoot out the buds. So I will be patient, not worry about the little shoots, little branches not shooting out. It might. But again, pay attention to your design, whether you want to keep these shoots or not, these branches or not. Well, the last question is an easy one. Where do I get my bonsai pots? Most of my bonsai pots were bought many, many years ago. I actually bought a container load of big bonsai pots for my own use. And now with Bonsaiheirloom, we are actually sourcing bonsai pots from a very reputable Yixing kiln and designed to a special design. So they are from Yixing, but the pots you've seen today are all mostly from Yixing, and also pots I picked up from Bonsai Club auctions or sales. And also I like to pick up these artisan bonsai pots actually, that you can see in swap meets or in the county fairs. But sometimes I will take a food container and drill holes in the bottom. You can buy a diamond tip bit, I guess you call it, and you can drill holes into them quite effectively. And nursery pots for houseplants, some of them could look quite nice if you can find a tree that rhymes with it. So be open-minded, but be sure to find pots that are very solid, like more close to porcelain than, I guess you call it, clay pots, so that when you hit it, it will ring. That shows it's very solid, it doesn't break very easily. Otherwise, you bang it and it crack it. Have fun, enjoy your bonsai. Pick a pot that rhymes with your tree, and be creative. It will catch someone's eyes. Thank you very much for watching. Please click like and subscribe to our channel, and send us your email address to get our mailing list. And thank you very much. See you next week.